this Mercedes 600 limousine here, or what some people might call a funeral car because it's a 6-door. This has got a 24-volt system on it to work with the air filtration system, because if you took the regular air conditioning out of it and made all the windows and other things like that inoperable, so that consequently that he could have a sealed, vented, filtered air system inside it. An aircraft engine electric start generating system, and it has 5,000 original miles on it. It has batteries in the trunk. The gray box is the air system that's mounted in the trunk. Below this are the 4 6-volt batteries that are used for the 24-volt system, because he used the 24-volt system to run all his air and other extra equipment that he had in there. Duesenbergs. There's a circle of Duesenbergs right here. 1931 Duesenberg Indy 500 race car. But it's a Duesenberg 8 race car. 1932 Duesenberg Indianapolis 500 race car. 1936 Duesenberg model SSJ LaGrange Sports Roadster. This is just a big, beautiful car. Another of the 1935 SSJs. 1935 Duesenberg. This is known as the Mormon Meteor. 1933 SJ. This is a 4-door convertible. 1932 Model J. 1932 Model J. This is a Victoria Coupe. 1932 Model J. Murphy convertible sedan. 1932 Model SJ, and this is a fabric coupe. This is covered in leather. Everything except the fenders. 1932 Model J Torpedo Victoria. 1932 Murphy-bodied, boat-tailed Speedster. 1935 dual-cowled Phaeton, body by LaGrange. 1935 Darren Victoria. 1926 Duesenberg X Sedan. 1927 Model X Sports Roadster. 1929 Murphy Speedster. 1929 Murphy Phaeton. 1929 LeBaron Dual Cowl Phaeton. 1929 Durham Cabriolet. This is a 3-position top. The front portion just snaps on so that the people in the back can stay secure while the driver's out in the open, or the whole thing can come down. 1929 Murphy Sedan, 4-door. 1929 Durham Dual Cowl Phaeton. 1929 LeBaron convertible, 4-door. 1929 Bowman and Schwartz convertible. 1932 Model SJ.
Judging is underway at this time and will be concluded at
1931 Ralston formal sedan. 1931 Durham Tourister. 1932 Duesenberg J Murphy convertible Victoria. This particular car has a split windshield. 1930 Model J Murphy convertible sedan. 1930 Model J Murphy convertible coupe. This has a rumble seat. 1930 LaGrange dual cowl Phaeton. 1929 Murphy convertible sedan. The leather covered Ed Lucas's convertible. This is a little different version of the boat tail speedster. It doesn't come out this far on the top, but it's covered appears to be stainless steel. Some of these are just too opulent. Not a boat-tailed speedster. An enclosed trunk. American Classic Open, 1925 through 34. 1929 Stutz Blackhawk Speedster. 1928 Packard Jesse Vincent Speedster. 1926 Will Sinclair Roadster. 1925 Kinsel Speedster. 1930 LaSalle All-Weather Phaeton. 1930 LaSalle 7-passenger dual cowl Phaeton. 1929 Franklin Airman Roadster. 1929 Cadillac dual cowled sports Phaeton. 1929 Cadillac convertible coupe. 1929 Hudson dual cowl Phaeton. 1929 Stutz DU16. American Classic Open, 1925 to 33. 1930 Packard dual cowl Phaeton. 1931 Marmon 16. 1931 Cadillac Model 335 all-weather Phaeton. 1931 Packard convertible sedan. 1931 Chrysler Imperial Phaeton. 1931 Chrysler Imperial LeBaron Phaeton dual cowled. 1930 Cadillac V16 Sports Phaeton. 1930 Packard dual cowled Phaeton. 1930 Packard Roadster. This includes a golf club door. 1930 Packard 734 Speedster. 1930 Packard dual cowl Phaeton. American Classic closed, 25 through 42. 1929 Stutz LeBaron Town Car. 1929 Hudson Model L 4-door sedan. 1930 Stutz SV16 Wyman bodied, fabric covered, 4-door sedan. This body is covered with Xylon. I believe that's the correct pronunciation. It's like a vinyl, and there's 4 layers of it on here. This gentleman here is being interviewed for Auto Week. 1931 Chrysler close-coupled sedan. 1932 Pierce Arrow Model 34. 1932 Nash Victoria Coupe. 1932 Pierce Arrow
See those not much anymore.
Limousine. 1932 Marmon Special 2-door. This is a big car. American Classic Open 25 through 33. 1934 Packard 12 Phaeton. 1934 Packard Victoria. 1934 Pierce Arrow. 1932 Packard Model 902. 1932 Packard Coupe Roadster. 1932 Chrysler. 1932 Packard Model 902 convertible. 1933 Essex Terraplane. 1933 Chrysler Imperial Phaeton. 1934 Packard V12 Dietrich convertible Victoria. American Classic closed 25 through 42. 1936 LaSalle Coupe. 32 Packard 902 Coupe.
How did you do in your class?
1934 Chrysler Airflow. 1934 LeBaron Sports Coupe. This is a really rounded back end, beautiful car. And the backside.
Hey, nice to see you. Okay, we'll see you soon.
1934 Packard Club Sedan. What beautiful colors. 1941 Chrysler Barrelback. 1941 Chrysler Town and Country Sedan. American Classic Open 35 through 42. 1935 Packard. 1936 Packard Sports Phaeton. 1938 Chrysler Imperial 4-door convertible. 1938 Packard Coupe Roadster. Nice color. Some of these are just exceptionally long. 1940 Cadillac convertible coupe. Another 1940 Cadillac. This one's an 8. The great one is a V16. 1940 Packard Durham convertible sedan. 1941 Packard convertible sedan. 1941 Cadillac. American Classic post-war open. 1955 Olds convertible. 88 convertible. 1948 Chrysler Town and Country convertible. 49 Cadillac Model 62. 50 Chevy Styline Deluxe. 1951 Hudson Hornet convertible. 1953 Olds Fiesta convertible. 53 Cadillac Eldorado convertible. 1955 Eldorado. 1954 Packard Caribbean. American Classic post-war open. Even though this looks like two 4-barrels underneath this is a rare DeSoto fuel injected. The computers are mounted out in front of the radiator. 1958 Adventure convertible, and this man is explaining the fuel injection system and what a hassle he went through and how many months of time he got it to run right. 1961 Chrysler 300G. 1955 Pontiac Star Chief convertible. 1956 98 Starfire convertible. 1956 Packard Caribbean. 1957 Cadillac Barrett's. 1957 Bonneville fuel injected convertible. 1957 Bel Air fuel injected Chevrolet. American Classic post-war closed. 1955 Chrysler 300. 1953 Starliner hardtop. 1958 Crown Imperial limousine, a factory limousine. 1958 Packard 2-door hardtop. This is a Studebaker turned into a Packard. 1960 Chevy Impala. 1948 Packard Custom Broma. 1956 DeSoto Adventurer. This is a nice 2-door hardtop. 56 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. 1955 Imperial limousine with rear air. 1958 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. 1948 Tucker. This is number 43 of 51 Tuckers. Convertible and luxury. 1933 Rolls Royce. 1938 Rolls Phantom 3.
Thank you, Jim. From
1930 Rolls P2 drop head coupe. 1932 Lancia dual cowl Phaeton. 1927 Rolls-Royce Tilbury sedan.
Almost looks like Clark Gable.
1927 Rolls-Royce P1 Cabriolet. 1931 Henley
What a
Roadster.
match. From 19 Ferrari.
1939
And this is a
Rolls-Royce
275
4-door.
GTB4 Cam.
1937
Now,
Mercedes-Benz 540K.
46 pack with an air grabber
36
hood.
Bison, and with
And
the
this
number
is Margot.
7 on here, this
She's wearing
appears to be
DKNY
a race
leather
car.
jacket.
1937 Mercedes-Benz Cabriolet. It's 4-door
What a
convertible.
great match with that moonlight.
This group is Auburn Cord. 1936 Cord 810 Phaeton. 1937 812 Phaeton. 1937 Cord convertible coupe. 1937 812 Phaeton. There seems to be a whole group of these here, and everybody has a different name for what it is. The boat tail. 1933 Auburn Salon Speedster. 1931 L29. This is a front-wheel drive Phaeton, 4-door. 1931 Phaeton. 1932 Auburn Boat-tailed Speedster. 1935 Auburn 851 Phaeton, 4-door convertible. 1936 Auburn 852 Speedster. This is a supercharged 2-door convertible. Managed American and European through 24. 1909 Thomas Flyer. 1910 Oakland Model K. 1912 Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost Touring. 1910 Mitchell Model S. Another group of vintage American and European through 24. 1909 Simplex Touring.
One of only 3 built.
This has
Our first place winner, Best
Fabric
in Class,
fenders.
President's Award, American
1912 Pierce Arrow 7-passenger Touring. 1917 Locomobile Gunboat
and a 41
Speedster.
Chrysler Town and Country sedan owned by
1912 Pierce Arrow 4-passenger Touring. What a comfortable looking ride. 1913 Packard
Brought 2 over here. I hope we see
Runabout. 1923 Jewett Roadster.
Ralph Morano, ladies.
1912 Mitchell 5-6 Touring.
And William
1912 National Indy race car. This is a special display of a Bugatti. There isn't any tag on it to tell you anything. It's in a hospitality area.
It's magnificent.
What a beautiful car.
Very often.
Featured classic Buick, 100 years. 1922 Buick Touring. 1929 Buick Model 41 4-door sedan. 1938 Buick Special Convertible Coupe. 1932 Series 90 4-door sedan. This car is just getting ready to drive off. It's a beautiful Buick from the early 30s. 1905 Buick. Really nicely restored. 1908 Buick Model 10. 1910 Buick Touring.
1961 Chrysler 3.
Some more classic Buicks. 1946 Buick Estate Wagon. 1949 Buick Roadmaster. 1941 51C convertible Phaeton. 1941 90 Limited touring sedan. 1941 Buick convertible. No plaque on the front, so we're going to call it a 1942 Roadmaster. 1942 Super Convertible. 1946 Convertible. Well, this is going on here. This is a pan view of what's going on here, and they're presenting the awards over here on the hill. Sports cars through 55. It appears these are all foreign. No sign out in front, but it's a Morgan, and it can't be a +4 because if it's older than that. 1931 Alfa Romeo Roadster. 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing Coupe. 1935 Morgan three-wheeler. This is a front-engined rear-wheel drive. The single wheel in the back is driven. I'm not sure. I know a man who has a 1933, and that is a V2. 1952 Alfa Romeo Cabriolet. 1954 Mercedes 300 SL Gullwing. 1954 Maserati body by Zagato. 1954 Jaguar 120. 1948 Jaguar drop-head coupe. Sports cars 56 to 69. Ford GT40. 1957 AC Bristol. This is English. 1967 Alfa Romeo Spider. Fascia Vega. I would say from about 1960. 1966 Lamborghini 400 Touring. 1967 Ferrari 275 GTB Ford Berlinetta. 1965 Corvette. Doesn't have a sign out front. Ferrari. 1965 Shelby Cobra. 1966 Jaguar 2+2, which means this had a back seat for whomever you could cram in there. 1964 Sunbeam Alpine. 1962 Porsche 356B Super Cabriolet. 1967 Bentley 4-door. 1968 Lamborghini 400 GT Coupe. 1969 Jaguar E-Type Roadster. Feature Classic. 1939 Lincoln Zephyr Coupe. 1939 Lincoln Zephyr Convertible. 1967 Lincoln Continental Mark II. 1956 Lincoln Premier Convertible. This is in a pale lilac color. 1948 Lincoln Continental Cabriolet. 1941 Lincoln Continental Convertible. 1941 Lincoln Continental Coupe.
Wonderful car. Ralph just restored
some more classic Fords. 1927 Lincoln Model L Imperial Victoria. 1930 Lincoln 7-passenger Touring. 1931 Lincoln Town Sedan. 1931 Dietrich. Lincoln Dietrich Convertible Sedan. 1935 Lincoln LeBaron Coupe. Nice vinyl top. 1936 Lincoln Zephyr. 1933 Lincoln KB. 1937 Lincoln LeBaron. 1932 Lincoln KB Cabriolet. 1940 Ford station wagon. 1940 Ford convertible. 1936 Ford Deluxe Phaeton. 1905 Ford Model B. This is the first four-cylinder, the first front engine car. 47 Super Deluxe convertible. 1949 Ford convertible. 51 Mercury station wagon. 1954 Monterey convertible. 1958 Monterey convertible. 1959 Edsel Corsair hardtop. 1960 Edsel Ranger convertible. 1967 Thunderbird. 1968 GT 500 KR. This is a special built Go Like Hell Shall Be car. 1965 Thunderbird. 1947 Ford Sportsman.
Owned
These
by
are some of the
Indian
trophies that they
owned
give
now by Jim Patterson
out
in
here.
Louisville.
Good morning. I'm Ed Schoenthaler. This is my wife Judy. We live in Oak Brook, Illinois, and this is the Marmon HCM Special. This car was built in 1932 as a prototype for a new series of cars that Marmon was going to come out with in the late 30s. And it's the only V12 Marmon ever built. And the car has independent suspension, torque tube axle, unibody construction, inboard brakes, all things that they didn't have in those days. They were all engineering advances. Howard C. Marmon, it's called the HCM Special for his name, Howard C. Marmon. He was an engineer, and he engineered all the cars, all of the features of the car. And Dorwin Teague was the designer of the body. Dorwin Teague designed all the V16 Marmons and numerous other cars. The wheels are all aluminum. These are not hubcaps, these are wheels. The body is all aluminum. The engine is all aluminum. This car is the exact color that it was when it was brand new. It was actually supposed to go to the World's Fair in 1933, but it never made it because Marmon went out of the automobile business. The car took a year and a half to restore, but every single piece of this car, whether it's these emblems or the bumpers or the hubcaps or the wood in the body, the interior wood, all these are the original pieces. Nothing has been fabricated. It has been redone.
Okay, my name is Fred Cleaver from St. Clair, Michigan. I purchased this car in 1980 as a parts car. It took 14 years to get the things all together and to get it on the road. This is a 1932 Model 54 Club Brome. It's an 8-cylinder. That was the first year also for 12-cylinder for Pierce, but this was the 8, and this was the cheapest Pierce Arrow made of that year. The car cost $2,495.
My name is John Bertoloni. I live in Sterling Heights, Michigan. I have owned this car for 34 years. It's a nice car to drive. 36 LaSalle coupe, holds 3 people. It's got a radio, heater, trip lights. You know, that's dealer installed. The radio was dealer installed. The heater was dealer installed. Came with an ashtray from the factory and 5 white wall side tires.
Okay, name is Russ Murphy. This is a 54 Packard Caribbean. I've owned the car about 12 years, and it was a 22,000 mile all original car when I bought it. All I did was repaint it, do the chrome, and recover the cushions. Other than that, it's a totally original car. I bought it sight unseen from a used car dealer in Buffalo, New York. After looking for 25 years, flying all over the country looking for one, I bought this one sight unseen. So, very pleased.
Howard Weaver from Ann Arbor, Michigan. It's a 1953 old Fiesta, fairly limited production car. We've had it about 3 years. Great driving car. We found it at an auction, RM auction, about 3 or 4 years ago. Well, it was sort of an experimental car. They chopped the windshield down a bit and put a lot of the advanced features in it. It's just sort of an unusual car.
My name is Chuck Colombo, and this car is a 1950 Deluxe Chevrolet convertible that I've owned for about 25 years. And the car originally came from Missouri, but was for sale here in the Detroit area. It's a good running car. Drive it to work 3 to 4 times a week, and had a lot of fun with it.
My name is Bill Anderson, my wife Eileen Anderson. We're from Brighton, Michigan. We're car collectors. This is a 61 Chrysler 300G convertible, approximately 330 built in 1961. There's probably 102 or 3 that's on record now that have survived. They're not all restored, but survivors. Had a 413 cubic inch engine with 2 4-barrel carburetors. They called it the Cross Ram. This particular car was a Michigan car all its life. I found it in a garage in Middle Straits Lake. It sat for probably about 29 years in the garage with the top down, piled with junk. Fellow that worked for me, it was his father's, and he told me about it one day, and because I was a car collector, I went to look at it, and he had trouble in business and wanted to sell it, so I bought it. Total restoration took about 3 years.
I'm Thomas White from Hopkinton, Massachusetts. I've had this car for like 6 years now. The car came to me from a fellow that was in the 300 Club. The car was built originally as a styling exercise for Chrysler. There was 82 of these built originally. There are 4 known surviving. This one was built as a styling exercise. Consequently, it has options on it that are unusual, including a record player, a steering wheel watch, power windows, power seats. The car is electronically fuel injected, and right now it's the only one known to survive that's running. They were all recalled, and today we thought last week ago that we might have to push this thing, but we did fix it last Sunday, and it is now running very, very well.
Does the record player work?
Yes, it does.
Is it very practical when you go over a bump? What happens?
It is not bad. I have to warm up the radio first. Where's the radio? You got to realize that the radio has tubes in it. But the computer system that runs this electronic ignition, the injection system is solid state, and it's all germanium transistors long before silicone, and consequently the reliability was not great.
Thank you so much for showing that to me.
You're welcome.
I'm Bernie Aaron. I'm from Toronto, Ontario. This is a 1957 Cadillac Biarritz. Biarritz is the top model. All Britzes are convertibles. It's a single owner car. It's very, very, very rad. It doesn't know what heat is. We just came off a 1-week driving tour with the Classic Car Club of Canada. Performed well and came here to show it this morning. Wonderful show, and see you later.
My name is Paul Scharfenberg. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and this is my 1958 Cadillac 62 Coupe. This was the entry-level Cadillac. In fact, the least expensive Cadillac sold that year. Sold for about $4,200. Came without power windows, power seat, or air conditioning. But it does have power steering and automatic transmission. It's got more than enough accessories that I ever could use. And it's in beautiful shape. It's been restored by having new paint job, new interior, and some re-chroming. But other than that, it's basically an original car with 68,000 miles on it. I drive it all the time. I drive it to every meet I can. It's not a trailer queen by any means. I drive it to the meets, and it's been rained on a few times too, but I try to avoid the rain. And of course I park it every October and don't take it out of storage until April. In Detroit here, of course, we have a little element called salt they put on the roads, and I wouldn't dare want any salt to get on this car.
Go ahead.
Now this is a 1953 big Skylark. We've owned the car, I guess, 8 years. This is the, I guess the 6th one I've restored. I'm on the 9th one now. What's to say? Nice car. It collect blue ribbons pretty good.
I'm Greg Cockrell. I live in Rochester Hills, Michigan. This is my 1970 Buick Electra 225 custom convertible. This was the last year the Buick Electra was available as a convertible. This particular car is completely original. This is original paint, original convertible top, original interior. Really the only thing that's been changed on the car other than normal service items has been the tires. And these particular tires are specially made reproductions from Coker tire that utilize the dual stripe white wall that was used only in 1970 and 1971. These are the first set from Coker off the prototype molds. And with that, I think it completes the look of the car as it was in 1970. One item you'll seldom see on a 1970 Buick today is the emblem on the front bumper. That's made out of a very fragile plastic. Apparently the material was chosen poorly as it was not very durable, and at best there's a medium quality reproduction that's available, which is very costly, but to see an authentic correct emblem such as that is very unusual. I was fortunate enough to locate a new old stock piece. Even as nice as this car was, the original emblem was in poor shape. And I can tell you, I never saw one as nice as this. And you know, this is now, what, 33 years old. The mileage on it is 38,000 right now, but like I like to tell people, it looks like it's about a 12-month-old car.
Oh yeah. Once again, look how much things change over 4 years. Here's the 58 Buick Limited, which is the biggest fancy in 58. Then here we have the 59 Buick Electra. And then here we have the 60 Buick. These are all Electra 225s actually. And then here we have the 61.
I'm very happy to be back. My name's Ed Lucas, and I'm thrilled to be back with you on the 25th anniversary of the Meadowbrook Concours D'Elegance, and we'll do our best to bring you the best program at a car show anywhere. All right, our first car up, a 1910 Buick Bug. This is a race car, one of the Bob Berman race cars from the Sloan Museum in Flint, being driven by Jim Johnson, who's the assistant director. This was the fastest race car in the world in 1910, ladies and gentlemen. At the time, one of the fastest race cars in the world, ladies and gentlemen. We're thrilled to have you here. Thank you, Malcolm. From the Henry Ford, ladies and gentlemen, the exact replica of Henry Ford's quadricycle that led eventually to Ford Motor Company. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a 1928 Ford Model A, serial number 189, owned by Charlie Bass, who is a U.S. representative. And Charlie, this is probably built the first day of Model A production.
Yeah, it was built in the first week or so of production. It's the oldest Model A known to exist now, and it's basically a prototype. It was sold to a brewmeister in Gothenburg, Sweden in early March, and I bought it back about 3 or 4 years ago from Sweden. It's the oldest Model A known to exist. They had a run of about 5 million over a 4-year period.
A lot of special parts and features on it.
Very unusual, yes. A lot of Model T features which are carried through into the first month or two of Model A production. There are only 3 triple-digit Model A's in existence that have matching engine and frame numbers. This is one of them, and obviously the earliest.
U.S. Congressman from New Hampshire with the oldest known Model A Ford, founded in Sweden. Number 189, ladies and gentlemen, virtually a prototype car. Our first car in the sports fashion group, a 1912 National race car owned by Jim Grundy. This is one of the 4 national team cars that raced at Indianapolis in 1912, and one of the 4 team cars won Indianapolis with a huge 600 cubic inch, 75 horsepower engine. Jim Grundy with his national race car. It's a 1925 Kissel Speedster, one of the sportiest cars of the day. Gina, take a look at this beauty. Look at the cut-down doors, cycle fenders, golf clubs over on this side, wind wings. A Kissel Speedster, owned by Dwayne Ashmead. The photographers love this part of the program, and I know you do too, ladies and gentlemen, especially the ladies, and I think the gentlemen like the fashions too. After all, we all have to be fashion conscious every now and then. All right, we've got a special one up next. Car number 3. It's a 1936 Duesenberg SSJ Speedster, one of only 2 built. This one was owned new by Mr. Clark Gable. It was rumored to have been given to him by his love, Jean Harlow. It is owned by Al Ferrer from Gates Mill, Ohio. He's had it 50 years, ladies and gentlemen. Almost looks like Clark Gable driving.
Almost looks like Jean Harlow.
One of the most desirable Duesenbergs ever built. The other one, the twin, by the way, was owned by Gary Cooper, and it's on the field here today. Al Ferrer with his SSJ Speedster. Thank you, Al. For a little better breathing, he's going to open the cutouts. Can you see Clark Gable zipping around Hollywood in that automobile? He had 2 Duesenbergs, by the way, and this is one of them.
That's a beauty.
67 Ferrari, 275 GTB. Dana, look at that. What a magnificent automobile.
This is Taylor, and she's sporting an Ellen Tracy double-faced wool jacket with the matching yellow shell. And we've teamed them with the Christian Dior leather pants. We'd like you to note the hardware. That's a key statement this fall. You'll see lots of hardware, lots of zippers.
Now, what do you mean by hardware, Gina? Could you expand on that a little, please?
I'm not touching that line.
Leather pants,
lots of buckles.
jacket.
You look great.
Done a wonderful job, Gina, bringing out these fashions.
It was fun. We had a good time.
Thank you, and thank you to Bill Parfit for bringing his fabulous Ferrari 275 GTB 4-cam. And our 5th and final car in the sports car fashion segment, ladies and gentlemen, one of the rarest muscle cars in the world, a 1970 GTX hardtop owned by Harold Sullivan in Troy, Michigan. It was one of the greatest collections of Hemis and muscle cars of Chrysler manufacture. This is a GTX 446 pack and the only one made in Moulin Rouge is the name of that color, also known as hot pink. Moulin Rouge, the official name, a GTX 446 pack with an air grabber hood. Wonderful, thank you. Our 5th and final car in the fashion segment. Thank you, Gina. And we'll see you again in a few minutes with the concept cars and jazzy fashions at that time. Here's the best in class from that class, antique and vintage early. Best in class. And you talk about a rare, huge brass era automobile. It's a 1907 Pinard Levasseur U3 toy tonneau touring car, owned by John and Annabelle Conweiser from Scottsdale, Arizona. Here's our best in class, the first award-winning automobile at the Concours D'Elegance today, and Dwayne Miller to present the trophy.
Congratulations. You know, brass cars are probably the most exciting, I think, because they're the beginning and colorful, and this is really a super one.
And it's running on the original French spark plugs?
The spark plugs and the carburetor and everything else is original under the bottom of this car.
I think your warranty has run out on those spark plugs. Congratulations, John. Thank you. An amazing brass car. Our first winner in Class A, antique and vintage, chain drive. It is a chain drive, and there's a mother-in-law seat over here on front of the left rear fender. What a beautiful restoration. 1907 Pinard Levasseur Touring. Class A2, antique and vintage. Here's the best in class, ladies and gentlemen, from East Lansing, Michigan, a wonderful friend of the Meadowbrook Concours D'Elegance, a 1912 Packard Phaeton, and John Pampu to present the trophy. 1929 Cadillac Sport Phaeton, a 341B double windshield, owned by Wally Jones of Cleveland, Ohio. And our chairman, Richard Kuhn, to present the trophy to his friend.
Wally, congratulations. Your car is magnificent. You truly deserve that award, best in class. Take it home to Cleveland and have fun with it.
Thank you, Dick. Wally, this is a stunning, stunning Cadillac, and Cadillac's been with us 100 years too, so we're thrilled to have a car like this here.
Well, thank you so very much. We sure enjoyed the show and really appreciate the prize.
Look at this one-off concept car. They call it the 49 Concept because 1949
Goodness.
was such a special year. Look under that hood and look at the fashions.
Wow. We have Margot once again. She's also wearing a Giorgio Armani suit. This is black with a chalk stripe, and it's a wool flannel suit. Again, it has the asymmetric closing. We've accessorized her with a black fedora, pearl choker, some purple leather gloves.
Special gloves. Special gloves.
Thank you, Margot.
And we appreciate Ford Motor Company bringing this magnificent car to our Concours today. The 49 concept car from the styling studios of J. Mays and Ford Motor Company. What a great approach to an automobile design. Our next prototype car is the 1961 dual Ghia, owned by Frank Campanelli from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. This is the prototype for the L6.4 Ghia, built by Ghia, bodied by Ghia in Italy on a Chrysler chassis. A prototype, ladies and gentlemen, followed by 26 production examples that were owned at one time by Peter Lawford, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, and Lucille Ball owned these cars originally, and this is the prototype. And a great fashion compliment, Gina.
Thank you. We have Taylor. She's featuring a tough chic look from Alexander McQueen. Note the zipper detail, giving it that hard edge.
Back to the hardware.
Yeah, back to the hardware.
And the zippers.
Lots of zippers. Underneath, we've teamed it with a Cousteau bright yellow top. And her sunglasses are from Oliver Peoples.
Ghia-bodied prototype of the L6.4 Ghia. And our fifth and final special car in our prototype concept car segment of fashions, ladies and gentlemen. One of only 22 built. This is the Hudson Italia. 1954 Hudson Italia Coupe, owned by Ed Sowers from Indiana. A Hudson Italia with European coachwork on a Hudson chassis. The exotic Superleggera Italia, 1954, one of 22 made, and they were all in beige.
And we have Yulia wearing a Naeem Khan cashmere boat neck sweater, and we paired it with a silk taffeta iridescent skirt. We gave her a chandelier ear and a nude sandal.
From the Italian collection.
From the Italian collection.
Perfect match. Coach work on the Hudson Italia was done by Touring in Milano, believed to be the only American chassis bodied by Touring. Built the Hudson Italia, one of 22 built. And best in class, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? Our 1954 Hudson Italia, owned by Ed Sowers from Indiana, Woodburn, Indiana, and to present the trophy from the Indianapolis 500 Motor Speedway Museum, Mr. Bill Spurley.
It's a pleasure to present you this trophy for the best in our circle. Thank you very much for bringing this car. It's a wonderful car to have.
Thank you, Bill. This Ed Sowers, ladies and gentlemen, from Woodburn, Indiana, his exotic and rare Italia, 1954 Hudson Italia. Well, I've been reminded to ask everyone to please cast your ballot for the people. And here's our best in class, ladies and gentlemen. 17 cars of very, very tough class. Goes to a 1957 Mercedes 300 SL owned by Bob Platts from Winewood, Pennsylvania. Best in class. Sports cars 1956 and later. And presenting the trophy, one of our distinguished judges, Mr. Bob Shaw.
Congratulations, Bob. You got it? Don't want to drop it on the door. I got it. Oh, I loved all the special equipment you had. The rally equipment that I remember from back when we were doing rallies. All hard to find parts and all original, I believe.
Thank you, Bob. Well, Bob, you've got a wonderful Mercedes here, the 300 SL, the sister to the Gullwing, and this one has the rare removable hardtop.
That's correct. I bought the car in 1969, smashed and not running, for $1,600, and it's been a great ride for 30 years.
30 years and a few dollars later, and you've got a prize-winning car. How easy it is. Now, this color, I don't think I've ever seen this color on a 300 SL before.
The color is called Linden Green. It has a code 218. Only 3 Roadsters were built in this color, and 1 Gullwing. That's the total production on this color.
You've got literally a racing designed engine under the hood. Came from the 300 SLR that Mercedes raced so successfully. Fuel injected 6-cylinder over on its side. It was a slant 6.
Actually, there's one more feature. It has a special high compression piston engines that were only put in about 6 cars with a 411 rear. So this thing tears down the highway at a pretty good clip.
Bob Platts, ladies and gentlemen, from Wynwood, Pennsylvania, one of only 3 Roadsters in this color. Here is the best in class 1910 Ford Model T Touring. This is a Canadian-built car owned by Ralph Boyer from Dearborn Heights, Michigan, one of this area's leading Ford authorities and experts, and presenting the trophy, Mr. Jim Quinlan, an original member of the Concours D'Elegance Committee in 1979. Jim?
Ralph, congratulations on a wonderful, wonderful car. Ralph just re-restored this car just recently, and it's just a gorgeous car. Thanks, Ralph.
Now, it's Canadian built?
Yes. It was an American frame, American engine that was made over at the Paquette plant. Then it was taken over to the Highland Park plant for assembly. Then they sent it over to Walkerville, which is modern Windsor, right across from Belle Isle. And it has a Canadian body, and it has French brasswork, like the horn and the windshield are unique. The car looks like a Mercury version of a Ford. It's larger, it's longer, wider, higher, just a bigger car.
At one point in time, Ford was building Ford automobiles all over the world.
Oh yes, and this particular car that they made in Walkerville, they exported them to the maritime provinces, New Zealand, Australia.
So there are considerable differences between the Canadian version and the typical Highland Park American-built Model T.
Oh yes, like the tires are the same size, front and rear, where the American cars were 30 by 3, this is 30 by 3.5 all the way around. It's just a fancier version all the way from stem to stern.
Special coach work and lights built in Canada. He's got the exhaust horn and the brass generator, and those correct white tires are appropriate for the period. Ralph Boyer, that's best in class, and our featured 100th anniversary of Ford feature. And we will take a 5-minute break, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're going to bring up Class D, a featured 100th anniversary Ford class called Late. We had 3 different groups. There were 9 cars in the class. There are 3 blue ribbon winners that received their Lion Award in the circles, and the judges were Al Maynard, Shamel Rushin, and Patrick Schiavone. Here's the best in class, ladies and gentlemen, as selected by our judges. 1955 Ford Sunliner convertible, Don and Vicki Ort from Niles, Michigan, in black and yellow, that special promotional color combination called the Bumblebee. And it's black and yellow inside and out. Presenting the trophy, the president of the Meadowbrook Concours D'Elegance, Mr. Bill Chapin.
Congratulations. I want you to know especially we're proud of you that you can be here today with the top down, because you probably were responsible for the weather. So on several notes, congratulations.
Well, this one managed to survive today, and one of the survivors from the 50s. Those fabulous 50s convertibles are unbelievable.
Well, this car was found in a barn in California, restored in 1986. It's got 37,000 original miles, and I'm told that it's probably better than the day it was built.
It certainly looks like it. It's got that new overhead valve V8 engine, the Y-block under the hood.
The 272. I think 180 horsepower, and 6-volt battery. It went to 12 volt and 56. Yeah.
Story. Well, it's a thrill to see you. You've even got color-keyed matching dice hanging from the rear view mirror.
We have bumblebees on the dice.
Well, your theme is complete. Thank you very much. Don and Vicki Ort, ladies and gentlemen. 1 year only for that color combination and the interiors matching. The Sunliner 55 convertible last year for the 6-volt Ford with basket weave hubcaps, and that car is absolutely Concours quality. It's our best in class. And here's the best in class coming up to receive the special trophy. Featured 100th anniversary Ford. This is the Lincoln class, a 1938 Lincoln Model K Willoughby Touring, Stephen Brower from Bridgeton, Missouri, and Jim Quinlan to present the trophy. Retired from Ford Motor Company. I'll bet you love this one, Jim.
This is really a special car, a Willoughby yet, a very rare car. I talked to the owner and he agrees it's one of his favorite cars and very rare. Congratulations on this wonderful Greyhound, and it's familiar to you as a Ford product.
Thank you very much. Mark Ohm, ladies and gentlemen, from the St. Louis, Missouri area, with Stephen Brower's 1937 Lincoln Willoughby-bodied K-chassis Touring. Best in class. Best in class, judged by Pat McCarthy, Mike Wilson, and Bob Casey, in 1940 Mercury convertible sedan, Robert White from Shelby Township, Michigan. 1940 Mercury. Jim Quinlan, retired from Ford Motor Company, present the trophy.
Thank you. This is a Mercury, a wonderful, wonderful Mercury. What year Mercury is this? 1940, 1 year after they came out. Thank you and congratulations.
This is the best in class, ladies and gentlemen, 1932 Lincoln KB dual cowl Phaeton owned by Bill Ruger from Newport, New Hampshire. Best in class, Bill Ruger, 32 Lincoln. What a great design, Bill. It's magnificent.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks very much.
We won't hold you up. They're taking a couple photographs, and we'll talk to you a little later. Bill Ruger with this beautiful Lincoln KB dual cowl Phaeton, wind-up rear window, and that radically slanted windshield. Here's the best in class, Auburn Cord. 1931 L29 convertible sedan owned by William and Susie Adcox from Lansing, Michigan, and one of our judges, Robert Joint, who went to college in East Lansing, Michigan at Michigan State University to present the trophy. An Auburn Cord to a Lansing car. Congratulations, William. Magnificent L29. What a styling statement this car made. Front-wheel drive and a long hood with a Lycoming 8-cylinder engine, transmission way up front. This car was nearly a foot lower than anything else in 1931.
Yes, it was. This is we've only had this car for 8-9 months now. It's our first showing in the car. It had about a $2,500 restoration on it, and it shows it.
Brand new restoration, ladies and gentlemen. The L29 Cord, complete with a Lalique crystal radiator cap. The Phaeton front-wheel drive, Lycoming 8. Here is the best in class. Best in class, ladies and gentlemen. Owned by Harold Sullivan from Troy, Michigan. The trophy presented by the CEO of Barrett Jackson Auction Company, Craig Jackson. Thank you, Craig. This is a great one. You like muscle cars, don't you?
Yeah, I own one of these also. There's 14 of these for U.S. This is one of them, a 4-speed. This was actually a Canadian car, though, wasn't it? Canadian car, and then I have the one export car.
This is the very rare, legendary Hemi convertible, the Hemi Cuda convertible, 1970. And they're worth a fortune. They're hard to find. As you said, Craig, there are only 14 around.
That's right. Well, get it out of the rain.
Harold, thanks a lot. This is the first show for your car. It's magnificent. The Hemi Cuda. Congratulations on Best in Show.
Thank you, Ed.
All right, we're going to have a little rain delay, ladies and gentlemen. Good. We'll take a little rain delay.
Good. Thanks, Taylor.
Kia limousine. Everybody knows you're in a limousine when they see this one. This car is in original condition from the Ed Muir collection in Farmington, Michigan, originally owned by the Eaton family of the Eaton stores in Toronto, Ontario.
This is Jeanette, and she's wearing a bugle bead platinum sequin gown with spaghetti straps and a draped neckline. And this is Julia. She's in a goatskin jacket and sable trim over a white charmeuse skirt that is platinum bugle beads and a white cashmere shawl.
Gina, what would be the retail price on some of these fashions, the formal
Jeanette's
evening wear?
gown, I believe, is $2,600, and I think Julia's goatskin coat was $2,000. Altogether, her outfit probably comes to about $4,000.
And up next, the 1928 Stutz. 1928 Stutz Rollston Town Car. This is an open front town car, and in inclement weather, you can put the cover over the chauffeur's compartment. A LeBaron-bodied Stutz. LeBaron-bodied, custom-bodied, built right here in Detroit, Michigan. This car from the collection of Dick and Linda Kuhn of Detroit, Michigan. A Stutz town car. Very formal. Most of the time it's open over the driver's compartment, and the owner and his lady rode in the back seat. Chauffeur driven today by Dick Kuhn, our chairman.
And this is Tammy. She's wearing a chiffon sheath with bugle beading detail. And it has a bit of a flapper look to it.
Well, now that is beautiful. What would that cost, Gina?
Again, most of them start at like $2,000 and go to around anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000.
With matching umbrella.
With matching umbrella.
A perfect formal car for a night on the town in 1928. Coupe Joe Haight, Chicago, Illinois, and Craig Jackson from Scottsdale, Arizona present the trophy. An exotic, magnificent Maserati A6G 2000 with coachwork by Zagato. Joe, how many of these built?
Built 19, from 1955 to 56.
Zagato coachwork, high performance engine.
2-liter twin cam 6-cylinder, 160 horsepower, 1,800 pounds.
Maserati, Joe Hayes from Chicago, Illinois. Ladies and gentlemen, the Gordon Burig Memorial Trophy. The Gordon Burig Memorial Trophy, sponsored by Kelly Services, and I have here Chairman of the Board and CEO of Kelly Services, Terry Adderley. And this trophy goes to John Grondike from Enid, Oklahoma. The rare, desirable 12-cylinder Auburn Salon boat tail speedster, one of the finest in the world. John Grondike, ladies and gentlemen, with that Auburn Salon 12 boat tail. Chrome wire wheels, special headlights, bumpers, and the Salon had a very unique grille. Our next award-winning car is the most significant General Motors car on the field today. Most significant GM car, and it's a 1930 Cadillac 16-cylinder dual windshield Phaeton. A 16, the first 16 from Cadillac. Belongs to Jim and Joyce Bradley from Edmond, Oklahoma. We got a run on those Oklahoma winning cars. Thank you, Bill. Jim, there were only a handful of these made. There's even fewer today. The very expensive 16 dual windshield Phaeton.
Yes, they were actually known as the $1 a pound car. The Cadillac 16-cylinder weighed 6,000 pounds and cost a little over $6,000, and that was sort of their notoriety. There's about 12 known real examples left in the world of the 16-cylinder sport Phaeton.
Where did this car go when it was new? Do you know anything about the history of it?
Yes, I do. We were fortunate enough to be the third owner of the car. Originally, it was owned by the Kellogg family of Battle Creek, and they bought the car in 1930, drove it a couple of years, and then they actually took the car to the Hamptons and kept it in the family until 1960. The second owner bought the car in 1960. He restored the car, and he was proud enough of it that he knocked the wall out in his den in his house and actually kept the car in his house for 36 years until he passed away. And we were fortunate enough to get the car in 1996. We've owned it 4 years, so we're about 30 years to be average on ownership of the car.
Without a question, the most significant General Motors product on the field today, the V16 Cadillac. Instrumentation in the back seat and under the hood, 16 cylinders. From Cadillac, the standard of the world. 1930 Packard 734 boat tail speedster, Ralph Morano from Westfield, New Jersey. And Wes Peterson to present the trophy, the Bill Mitchell Memorial Award, from Wes Peterson to Ralph Morano.
Congratulations, Ralph. It's just pure coincidence that there's another one just like this in our garage at home. It's the most fun car I've ever driven. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Wes. Ralph, we're back with the Packards. Here's another one from that fabulous collection of 21 Packards. You've got a special here. I know you looked for this one long and hard for a while.
It took us about 7 years to get it away from the guy that I bought it from. And he bought it from somebody that had it since 1959. So it's, we can trace the history back to 1941. There's only 11 real ones left.
Well, you get to keep it for the next 40 years.
I'm going to try. I'm going to really try.
A lot of things special about the 734 Speedster. Big brake drums, the engine's larger from the bigger series, staggered seats inside, removable top, and that exotic boat tail body.
Yeah, it's very unique for its time. It did over 100 miles an hour in 1930 when they didn't even have paved roads. I just love it. And it's got the exhaust cutout too.
All right, Ralph Morano from Westfield in New Jersey. Took him 7 years to buy that car, one of only a handful still in existence, the Packard 734 Speedster. Most outstanding automobile finished, with or without rain. 1929 Cadillac Sport Phaeton 341B, Wally Jones from Cleveland, Ohio, in this beautiful red 29 Cadillac, and Dennis Adler presenting the trophy. Dennis?
That's a beautiful car, and you notice how beautifully the rain is beating off the finish. It must have a really good wax job.
This is the most beautiful finish, and we're really happy to have you here, Wally.
Well, thank you so much. I'm really tickled that you like it so much. Yeah.
Now, wet hot mama.
A hot mama before, and now she's wet, says Mrs. Jones. Thank you. 1929 Cadillac Sport Phaeton from Cleveland, Ohio. Wally Jones in a beautiful red with a canework at the top of the rear doors. 6 chrome wire wheels, all the accessories, including side mount spotlight and a rear seat windshield. Wally Jones, ladies and gentlemen, in that beautiful Cadillac. License plate reads Flapper. Most unique convertible, 28 Packard Jesse Vincent Speedster, owned by Carl and Nacelle Schneider from Dayton, Ohio. Look at that high-speed cut-down door, boat tail, and David Draper from Petoskey, Michigan, to present the trophy.
Congratulations. Perhaps one of the original factory hot rods. Absolutely stunning car. Thank you for bringing it.
Thank you, David. Carl, congratulations to you. The most unique convertible. And I don't see a top here anywhere. You're right out in the element.
We got the letter from Charles Lindbergh thanking the Packard people for letting him drive at 118 miles an hour on a test track in 1928. My wife, Narcelle, and I have just donated it to the Packard Museum in Dayton, Ohio.
And you have Bob Sigmund from the Packard Museum in Dayton riding along. And this second award going to you is the most significant Mercedes-Benz. So what a wonderful choice. Sponsored by Mercedes-Benz USA, Mary Alice Ritzman to present the trophy. That will not go through the window, I don't think. He's going to hold it outside, the most significant Mercedes-Benz. Mary Alice Ritzman is the manager of classic communications for Mercedes-Benz USA, the sponsor of our trophy. Thank you to Mercedes-Benz. Jim, you might as... He's going to hold that on his lap. $540K Cabriolet, all the way from India. Here's a Meadowbrook Memorial Award. The next car has won the Meadowbrook Memorial Award, and ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the rarest, most exotic European classics we've ever had at Meadowbrook. It is an Avion Voisin. This is an Aerosport coupe, all original condition, from the unorthodox mind of Gabriel Voisin, built in France, owned by Arturo and Deborah Keller from Petaluma, California, and Lally Beasy, the executive director of the Meadowbrook Concours, to present the trophy. Arturo, come on out and join us here. What an incredible car. Congratulations. Arturo Keller, this is Lally Beasy.
It's a beautiful car. Congratulations, you deserve it.
Thank you, Lally. This is the Meadowbrook Memorial Award, Arturo. You've got a magnificent collection, and you have captured one of the most special Avion Voisins ever built.
Yes, I'm very happy. After 5 years chasing it, I got it about 2 years ago.
And you just flew it in from Switzerland to be here with us today.
Yes, we kept it 2 years there. We just brought it 2 weeks ago.
What a generous effort on your part, and we really appreciate your bringing this magnificent car. Very, very unusual engineering, unorthodox features to this car. Gabriel Voisin was truly ahead of his time. He was a genius.
Yes, it is. And it's the only one in existence. One of a kind.
The C24 Aerosport. Congratulations. Deborah, thank you for being with us. The car's right-hand drive. Deborah and Arturo Keller from Petaluma, California, with their Avion Voisin Aerosport. This is the Meadowbrook Memorial Award. And here it is at the Meadowbrook Concours. What a special moment. Deborah and Arturo Keller from Petaluma, California. What a wonderful collection they have. Right-hand drive, very unorthodox car. Everything on this car was conceived, designed, and built by Gabriel Voisin. Thank you, Arturo. Most elegant automobile. Most elegant car in the field, ladies and gentlemen. 1932 Lincoln KB dual cowl Phaeton owned by Bill Ruger, Jr. from Newport, New Hampshire. A beautiful watch from Schubert Jewelers, being presented by Doug Schubert to Bill Ruger from New Hampshire with this fabulous, elegant, dual windshield Phaeton. Doug Schubert from Schubert Jewelers presented a Rolex watch. How many years have you been giving away Rolex watches here, Doug?
This is 17, starting with John Abbott in 1987. So it's been our honor and privilege to be associated with Concours D'Elegance and to present this award.
And we are honored to have you here every year. You're one of our most consistent sponsors. 17 years sponsoring the most elegant car award, a beautiful trophy, and a Rolex watch. Bill, you'll never be late again. From Jupiter, Florida. And this beautiful LeBaron body dual windshield Phaeton. Tom Sidley presenting the trophy. Well, you've got a great Chrysler. Only a handful of these left. They're big and long with a mile-long hood and that big Chrysler straight 8. What a gorgeous touring car.
Yeah, it's the, you know, of course, the most significant car probably that Chrysler ever built. It's, you know, a straight 8 with 9 main bearings, 34 of them built originally. This car was restored by Dale Adams, and, you know, and he did a fantastic job.
Jim Colbert, ladies and gentlemen, from Jupiter, Florida. Chrysler Imperial dual windshield Phaeton, and that was the most significant Chrysler on the field. And not the judges, and you've chosen a beauty. A 1936 Auburn Boattail Speedster, 852, owned by Joe and Teresa Coppola from Novi, Michigan. Joe Coppola has had this car 20 years, and they just finished the restoration, the People's Choice. Joe, you got it done. It took 20 years, but here it is. We're thrilled to have you here.
Thanks very much. It's a thrill to be here. It's a thrill to have this car done. And it's just a thrill.
This award was selected by everyone here, the People's Choice Award, and that's very, very special.
I just want to thank you, everybody. Okay? Thanks, everybody. You made a good choice.
Thanks, Joe. Joe Coppola from Novi, Michigan. 20-year restoration. People's Choice. Supercharged. Boattail Speedster, 1936. The last year for an Auburn. Pontoon fender. Supercharged Lycoming engine. Freewheeling and Columbia 2-speed rear axle. The People's Choice Award. Congratulations, a friend of ours, Joe Coppola. The car originally owned by an Indian Maharaja, owned now by Jim Patterson in Louisville, Kentucky. 540K, one of the handful of the supercharged 540 open cars. Look at this great car. This is Best in Show, ladies and gentlemen. The trophy is sponsored by RM Classic Cars Founders Award for Best in Show, and they've got it dried off already. Here's Mike Fairbairn to present the trophy. Jim, come on over here in front of your car. This is Mike Fairbairn from RM Classic Cars. Best in Show. Congratulations. You do it every time.
Jim, we're really glad to have this car. This is a wonderful, wonderful automobile. I remember very well what it looked like not too many years ago. It looks terrific today, and we're very glad you brought it here.
Found it, restored it, and is presenting the trophy. What could be better than that?
Believe it or not, folks, we didn't plan it that way. The judges chose it, but we're very happy that they did. I can't think of a more deserving car on the field here today. It was a great automobile, and it was a pleasure for us to work on it. Thank you.
This car will be over on the hill, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to take a look at it later on. The Best in Show. This is one of the finest classic Mercedes-Benz in the world. Look at the flawless finish on that car, restored by RM Classic Cars in Chatham, Ontario. Jim Patterson, good job. Together. And have we got some special Duesenbergs for you? Duesenberg owners to your cars, we need to get you up here for our driving review. Bill, congratulations. That's an engraved cup with your name on it. Thank you to the Indianapolis Motor Museum. John Carefoot at the wheel, good to see you. Another Indianapolis race car, the Jack C. Car Special. The Jack C. Car Special Indianapolis Duesenberg race car. Which we should have up here on display. All the owners get a miniature of the Duesenberg Cup with their name and the car engraved on it. From Montgomery, Alabama, this is Knox Kershaw's Mormon Meteor. Tim Hartke along for the ride. The most valuable Duesenberg in the world, driven over 150 miles an hour at Bonneville by Ab Jenkins, who was a Mormon, and that's where the name Mormon Meteor came from. You got a lot of power under that hood, about 500 horsepower. Okay, he's right, it is right. 400 horsepower supercharged engine. The Mormon Meteor, the most famous and valuable Duesenberg in existence. And we want to thank Knox Kershaw from Montgomery, Alabama for presenting this car here today. His name will be engraved on the Duesenberg Cup. Many, many land speed records were set with this car by Ab Jenkins in the 30s. Some of those records stood for decades. one of the stars of our Duesenberg feature, Gary Cooper's car. And Barbara Evans presenting the trophy. Gary Cooper's car. He had two Duesenbergs. I think this was his favorite, the SSJ Speedster, just like the Clark Gable car. From Tucker, Georgia, ladies and gentlemen, it's a Fernandez and Darren convertible Victoria Model J Duesenberg, owned by Chip Kofer from Tucker, Georgia. This car was here in Detroit for many, many years, owned by Gene Welker. He sold it 30 years ago to Gene Kofer, and it's now part of the collection in Tucker, Georgia, and we're thrilled to have it here. One of the most exotic foreign-bodied Duesenbergs, Fernandez and Darren. Fernandez and Darren, custom coachwork. About 60 Model J Duesenbergs were custom bodied in Europe. And here's Jerry Shaw with his long wheelbase LeGrand dual cowl Phaeton supercharged. We're thrilled to have you back. And Paul Lane, his restore. Jerry, you've got a magnificent open LeGrand dual cowl Phaeton. Lally Beasy to present the trophy as part of our 25th anniversary, and he gets a kiss. Dual cowl Phaeton, built in Indianapolis, Indiana. And here's a very special car to me. SJ 261 LeGrand dual cowl Phaeton. 25 years ago, I sold this car to Mr. Bob Collins, and he and his wife are driving it today. They still own it. One of the first LeGrand dual cowl Phaetons built. Congratulations, Carolyn. Bob, it's a thrill to have you here and get your car out and running, and just great to have you part of our special commemorative Duesenberg display.
Glad to be here, Ed, and I think it's good for you to get a chance to see your old used car again.
He hasn't even offered me rights of visitation. Thank you, Bob. It's a supercharged car. One of the only Duesenbergs in which Fred Duesenberg is pictured is that car at the Indianapolis 500. And Bob's taken wonderful care of it for the past 25 years. Short wheelbase LeGrand dual cowl. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a special Duesenberg, as they all are, but this is the only Triple Crown winner. Only Triple Crown winner in the world. It won Meadowbrook, Pebble Beach, and the Auburn Court Duesenberg show all in the same year. Terry Adderley, President, CEO, and Chairman of the Board of Kelly Services. Thank you, Terry. Sponsored the award and all the cups to the individual owners. His magnificent long wheelbase convertible Rolston Torpedo Victoria. Thank you, Terry. From Gatesville, Ohio. From Gatesville, Ohio, Al Ferrara in the Clark Gable SSJ, the mate to the Gary Cooper car. 40 years he's had the car. Supercharged SSJ, originally owned by Clark Gable. Our chairman, Richard and Linda Kuhn, in their LeBaron dual cowl Phaeton.
Thanks very much, Ed. It's a great automobile, and all the Duesenbergs here are so magnificent.
Aren't they unbelievable? America's mightiest motor car, built to outlast and outclass any car in the road.
One more comment. I did not need to exclude all the other great automobiles. They're all great, every one of them.
Very politically correct. Dick and Linda Kuhn with Billy Rose and Max Baer's LeBaron dual cowl Phaeton. Paul Freehill from Fort Wayne, Indiana, at the wheel of Dean Cruz's long wheelbase Rolston sedan. Lally giving away the Duesenberg Cup to Paul Freehill. A one of a kind. They were all special. This is very, very special. Division window, padded top, long wheelbase Rolston sedan, owned by Dean Cruz of Cruz Plastic Auction Company. Rolston body sedan. From Terre Haute, Indiana, it's Frank Kleps in one of two Victory Coupes built by Judson. Here's your trophy. Gordon Buick design, another Buick design. He designed about a quarter of all the Duesenbergs built on the Model J chassis. Very special. There's a folding small seat next to the driver. There's cabinetry over here on the left, and this was called the Victory Coupe. Frank Kleps from Terre Haute, Indiana, making our Duesenberg display so very special. That's a Judkins body Victory Coupe, only 2 built, and they're both still in existence. From Greenwood, Indiana, ladies and gentlemen, Gene Perkins and his long wheelbase Murphy convertible sedan, built by Murphy Body Company in Pasadena, California. This is a long wheelbase, 153.5 inches, division window, and a lot of room in the back seat. From Greenwood, Indiana, long wheelbase Murphy, one of the fabulous Murphy Duesenbergs, built in Pasadena, California. From Lapeer, Michigan, this car was originally sold to Joey Brown. Joey Brown, this is a Durham Tourister, ladies and gentlemen. It later went to Howard Hughes as a camera car. They cut off part of the back portion of the body, which had to be reconstructed. This is one of 7 Durham Touristers built by Durham Body Company, owned by John McMullen. This is a short wheelbase Murphy convertible sedan built by the Walter M. Murphy Body Company in Pasadena, California. Thank you, Bob. From the Auburn Court Duesenberg Museum in Auburn, Indiana, Mr. Robert Spars. And a Murphy convertible coupe. The second Duesenberg brought to us by Harry Yagi. Started out as the Murphy convertible coupe, restyled with the long hood by Bowman and Schwartz, the successor to the Murphy Body Company. From the Harry Yagi collection in Cincinnati, Ohio, we're thrilled to have it here. John Carefoot at the wheel. From the Harry Yagi collection, that one was 17-quarter wheels and skirted fenders.
Well, you can see this car and many more like it at the Gilmore Car Museum every day of the week.
Over in Hickory Corners, Michigan, the site of many, many wonderful car meets during the year. Thank you. Rare Murphy V-windshield sedan. Look how sporty it is, ladies and gentlemen. Murphy Body Company in Pasadena, California. Another car from, thank you, Mark, and thank you to Bill Parfit. From his collection of Ford Duesenbergs, this is the long wheelbase convertible Victoria, the only one made. A long wheelbase Hibbert and Darren convertible with a special rear window treatment, Landau bars. Bob Swarms driving, owned by Ron Ellenboss and Dick Johnson. And it's a thrill to have you here. We don't see these exotic bodies very often, but this is a special one. There are only 3 or 4 built like this with different fender treatment. Everyone was special. This has the collapsible rear window section behind the door, Landau bars, long wheelbase, Hibbert and Darren, built in Europe with a fold-out 2-piece windshield and dual spotlight. With a little hint of continental styling on that Duesenberg chassis. From Indiana, one of the very, very first ones sold at the New York Auto Salon, where the Model J was introduced in 1928. Production lasted 10 years and there were only 475 examples built. From the Dwight Shellbach collection, ladies and gentlemen, he brought 2 of them. The next one is his too. Thank you. Thanks for help making the Meadowbrook commemorative showing of Duesenberg set for success. This is Dwight Shellbach's car as well. A long wheelbase of a brand dual called Phaeton, one of only 3 built. You've got the cup. Thank you very much. Long wheelbase LeGrand. LeGrand was built in Indianapolis, Indiana, right beside the Duesenberg Company. Right here in the Detroit area, it's a Murphy convertible sedan with a V windshield owned by Denny Dow. This is the only one built with that windshield treatment. Most Murphys had a flat windshield. This is the only one built. Short chassis, V windshield. The only V windshield Murphy convertible sedan built. And speaking of Murphy, they made 3 dual windshield Phaetons with no outside door handles, and we've got a special story here. Chuck Letts from Detroit, Michigan, has owned this car
49 years.
It'll be 50 years this year or next year? Next year he'll have owned this car 50 years. It's the very early Murphy dual cowl with the V double windshield, no outside door handles, one of 3 made. Chuck Letts, 50 years next year. Murphy dual windshield Phaeton. Bill Dreiss. And with the removable protection over the front seat, it has a speaking tube, a division window. It's been a long time, Bill, and it's great to see you in this car. You put this together over many years.
It's great to have it here, Ed. It's the second body of this car, the second original body.
Here, the only Durham long wheelbase town car. You've got your cup. Bill and Liz Dreiss lives in period clothing in the back seat from Saginaw, Michigan. A magnificent Model J Duesenberg with all the options. Another Phantom, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bob Gruder's car, ladies and gentlemen, from Grand Rapids. This is the only Duesenberg sold new in Detroit. It went to the Dodge family. Owned by the Kuhn family for many years and sold to Bob Gruders, and we're thrilled to have it here. The LeBaron coachwork built right here in Detroit by LeBaron. Dual cowl Phantom on the short chassis, 142.5-inch wheelbase. Thanks to Bob Gruders, who couldn't be with us today, for his LeBaron dual cowl. Here's one of the only. Thank you, Roger. Roger Wilbanks, the Vanderbilt Duesenberg. You'd recognize the names of a third of all the original Duesenberg owners. They were so famous, they only went to the wealthy. Supercharged LeBaron convertible sedan with division window, also from the Wilbanks collection. Clark, you've done a lot of work on this car. You're driving it for Roger. This is a great body style, built by LeBaron right here in Detroit.
Sure is. This is J103, like you said, Ed, and LeBaron convertible sedan. The car's a great driver. I remember this car back in Canada in 1956. It's actually the car that got me interested in old cars.
J103, the third Model J made, bodied by LeBaron, long wheelbase. Thank you, Clark, and thanks to Roger Wilbanks. Supercharged, one of the 32 supercharged Duesenberg. From the Shorty collection in Farmington Hills, one of 5 made on the short wheelbase. The boat tail with a polished aluminum deck. Lolly BZ presenting the trophy. One of 5 boat tails made. There were only 13 speedsters made, and this one from the Bill Shorty collection. 3 of the Murphys still left. And here's a very special car, ladies and gentlemen. Had this car 24 years, bought it in California in terrible condition, barely running. It's supercharged, boat tail speedster. Took 10 years to restore it. We finished it last fall, and it's a thrill to have this car here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really, really thrilled. It's a very special moment, and Mary Beth, my love, is over there with the trophy in her hand. Bruce, thank you. I want to thank Brian Joseph for all the restoration he did on this car. Well, I'm not sure what's going on here. I think she may want it. I think she wants to drive. Well, finally. Got a double carburetor supercharger on it. It was owned in the California, Oregon area for 40 years by a Mr. Bill Evans, and I bought it from his widow 24 years ago in a rainstorm in Los Angeles. The Model X Duesenberg was the model built between the Model A and the Model J. It was only made 1 year in 1927. We've got 2 of them on the field, and this car's got all the special equipment. Buck Camphausen with his all-original Model X Duesenberg sedan. Congratulations, Buck. Thank you very much. Buck Camphausen from Vallejo, California. There were only 12 Model X's made. We've got 2 of them on the field today. That's an all-original car. One of the greatest showings in the world. And all the Duesenberg owners, to commemorate this event, thank you very much. We're all thrilled to be back. Thanks to our board of directors and Dick Kuhn, our chairman, Don Summer, the founder, Lolly Beasy, Bill Chapin, and especially to the car owners and you, the public, for making this such a success. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next year.
This kind of tells the story of the day. It started out rainy in the morning, and then it got sunny and nice for a while, but then the rains came, and people scrambled to cover their cars. After a rainy day but a successful show, cars are going home.
podium is Bill Curley, the curator, driving their
This is the Mormon Meteor.
We want to thank Kelly Services for sponsoring the Meadowbrook up here on display. All the owners get a miniature of the Meadowbrook Cup with their name. One of the stars of our Meadowbrook picture. From the Miles Collier collection in Naples, Florida, ladies and gentlemen, one of the two SSJ speedsters here today. This was Gary Cooper's car. Custom by and here's Gary Shaw. Today they still own it. One of the first LeGrand Dual Hall of Fame built, congratulations, in the past 25 years. First wheelbase LeGrand Dual Hall of Fame. And here, ladies and gentlemen, this is supercharged. Lolly BZ is the Meadowbrook. I'm sure he is. Thank you, Rick. All the way from Fredericksburg, Texas. Rick's father, Bob Atwell, from Dayton, Ohio, El Ferrara, the company of SSJ, Fort Wayne, Indiana, at the wheel of Dean Cruz's long wheelbase Rollston sedan. Here's your trophy. Gordon Gary design. Only two built, and they're both going efficient. From Greenwood, Indiana, ladies and gentlemen, Dean Perkins in his Long Wheel, California. This is a long wheelbase, 153.5 inches. For ladies and gentlemen, it later went to Howard Hughes' expert inspector. From the William Parfit collection, California. Another car from the Parfit collection in the corner. The only convertible Victoria built from Kalamazoo, Michigan, ladies and gentlemen, driving. Owned by Ron Ellenboss and Dick Johnson, and it's a thrill to have you here. It's a thrill to have you here. One wheelbase LeGrand. LeGrand was built in Indianapolis, Indiana, right beside Meadowbrook. Right here in the Detroit area. And speaking of birthday, they made 3 dual windshield in Saginaw, Michigan, with the removable protection over the front seat. Another LeBaron dual cowl Phaeton, ladies and gentlemen, thrilled to have it here. The LeBaron coachwork built racing cars. Chargers J103, the first long wheelbase Meadowbrook van, was sold in California in terrible condition, barely running, in supercharged, no-tail speed.
Well, that's all we have time for this time. We'll see you again next time on Vintage Vehicle Videos.